I'm just in Devon after a couple of crazy weeks of racing in Hamburg and all around the UK. I'm actually going to London tonight, but I've just got a little bit of time, so I'm going to do the video I've been promising for a few weeks, the Ask Me Anything one. So I'm just going to grab my computer. Thank you all so much for writing in with your questions on Instagram and Facebook. I really appreciate your interest, and I'm going to try and answer as many of them as I can, but I'm really sorry if I don't get yours. It's nothing personal. I just it's going to be about 40 minutes long otherwise. So from Facebook, Colin Rubber asks, what is the best way to train for a fixed gear crit? Well, what is the best way? That's quite a big question, and I don't want to go too in depth so I can answer everyone else's questions as well. But essentially what you need to do is a lot of threshold training, so high intensity intervals are really good where you're working a high heart rate zone. Also power based workouts are good, so you can push a heavy gear. I go down to the gym. If you want to know more about how I trained for fixed gear crits over the winter, I actually did a video about that, so have a look. I have no idea why, but my camera just turned off. So anyway, Robert Tracy asks, any advantage to using single speed or fixie for training on the road? I'd say there's no advantage to using a single speed, personally, but a fixed gear, well, because you can't freewheel and you have to stay in one gear, that can be quite good strength training. And people used to train on fixed gears because you have fewer components to wear, so it would make a good sort of winter training bike. Personally, I prefer to do the majority of my training on a road bike. Helena Barriello says, do you think Rachel Barbieri is a strong rider, and do you like Tuscany? Yeah, she's strong. I think she's probably beaten me at the Moto Crit from what I can remember. Do I like Tuscany? Yes, I love Italy. So Tom Clark asked me, would you prefer a week of riding in the mountains or a week of fixie crit racing? When you say riding in the mountains, do you mean mountain biking? Because if it's that one, then that one. Mark Eston says, Ren or Stimpy? Well, I say Ren and Stimpy, duh. Jean-Luc Serra says, I saw you've got many bikes. Do you have any Italian steel retro ones? I don't, I'm afraid. Normally when I go to Eroica, I borrow one or hire one. Dale Crichton says, I'm visiting Barcelona in October. What bike shops would you recommend? I'm road and my wife's mountain bike. Thanks. I would say Pave, that's a really great one, and for your wife, definitely Domenica Cycling. It's a female-specific cycling store with really nicely chosen pieces, great brands, beautiful colours, everything's very stylish. I love that shop. So next one, what's your favourite food to supply energy during riding? Says Shouldn't I Fit. Actually, probably Cliff Bars, and I buy those, they're not paying me to say it. I just like things that are quick and easy to grab. Don't make a mess in my pocket. Taste nice. Easy. I go for Cliff Bars. I take gels as well if it's a long ride or hard or that sort of thing. Anthony Wiley9 says, what's the best way to train for pace lifting in a race? I'm guessing you mean surges, and I would say the best way to train for that is to mimic it. So what you want to do is, you want to be training at threshold, so at a high heart rate zone, something that's mimicking race pace. And then out of every corner, if you're training on a course, or every few minutes, depending on how fit you are, then you want to sprint hard, really put the hammer down. But then rather than recovering after your interval, you have to go straight back to the pace you were at before, the race pace. So don't just do that horrible interval and then die. You've got to stick with the pace you were at before. It's really hard, but it works. Posy Eric says, I've watched all your race vlogs and you've never fallen. Is that something you're scared about? I'm talking about fixed crits, he tells me. Well, I've fallen loads. Check out my elbows. Fallen in some road crits recently. My chin is scarred on both sides from mountain bike crash, BMX crashes. So I'm not scared of falling. It happens. I tend not to focus on it because why would you? Basically, I'm aware of the risks and they're acceptable risks. Wilo185236 says, what does your daily food intake consist of? Well, I cook everything from scratch. I don't really eat anything special though. So toast for breakfast made with homemade bread that's wholemeal and hasn't got any preservatives in. I'll have that with nut butter, or eggs at the weekend. Then I'll have fruit throughout the day, maybe yogurt if I need a snack. For lunch, I make a big vat of homemade soup at the beginning of the week, and I have that with a sandwich each day. Today I had Mexican black bean soup, might be lentil or something. Dude! Ah, so annoying. Imaz XO says snowboard versus bike. Well, bike obviously, otherwise I'd be spending all my time snowboarding. So Pedal Ferrari says, how much base or low intensity bike training do you do per year? I don't know, it's hard to say, but I do low intensity training every week. Base miles are good miles, and I enjoy just pottering about as well. I don't know, I tried to guess how much I rode each year, and I thought it might be about 10,000 k, but I don't know. I don't really use Strava much, so who knows. Matt Fred says, do you think there'll ever be a fixed gear racing series in the southwest? No! There aren't enough of us riding it down here. Starring Me asks, what's your riding like in a week? Do you have a routine as to what time you train? I don't have a routine, but there are times that I prefer to train. So I prefer to train first thing in the morning or at 5 or 6 in the evening, because otherwise it messes up my working day and I don't know when to eat lunch. Like if I get up and then I fart about too long, then I go and do my training over lunch, then I don't know whether to eat before or after, and it's really annoying. And I prefer to not break up the afternoon with rides because I should be working, so I would tend to do it at 5 or 6, and then I can shower and have dinner. Mega Nomi says, I ride a road bike but have never tried fixed gear. How do you stop on a fixed gear bike without brakes? Any recommendations for an entry-level fixed gear bike, and why are fixies so colourful? Well, the way that you stop on a fixed gear bike without brakes is by pedalling back. Because the drivetrain is attached directly to the wheel, you can't freewheel, so you can't just let the wheel spin and your legs stay like that. Everything you do with your legs affects the wheel, so if you're pressing back, it makes the back wheel stop and you'll skid, and that's how you come to a halt, if you know how to do it. Any recommendations for an entry-level fixed gear bike? Sorry, I'm a bit out of the loop with that one, but just be cautious. There are some really cheap, awful bikes on the market. So yeah, examine how much you can really afford to spend and then take a look. And why are fixies so colourful? I think because when they first became popular 10 years ago, it was just new and exciting and young, and people had different ideas about what bikes could and should look like. That's what I reckon. So I think that I've answered most of the questions. I'm really sorry if I've missed yours. Let me just have a quick look back and see if I haven't seen. Ah, yeah, Luca Quatrin says, have you ever thought about entering one of those long distance unsupported races? I've thought about it and I've thought, no, it's just not for me. I like racing. I like short, intense, quick races, and the amount of training that it would be involved, I just don't have the time. It just doesn't massively appeal to me. Not long distance racing, maybe just long distance cycle touring where there's no goal at the end. That appeals. So I think that's everything. I hope the video wasn't too long and that you enjoyed listening to everyone else's questions and getting my answers. I appreciate you sending your questions in. If there's anything else you want to know, then leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, then please subscribe and give a thumbs up. Thank you.